I knew it from the start. Baby, when you broke my heart, that I had to come again and show you that I'd win. Your love of mine. All those times I said that I loved you. Your love of mine. Yes, I tried. Yes, I tried. Your love of mine. Even though you know I died for you. Your love of mine. Yes, I cried. Yes, I cried.
Top of the morning, Double Down Dan. Live from vacation. It's another episode of Degen Fantasy. And we're back live on fucking Twitter. So if you're in the Twitter space, retweet, like, share, join us on SoBet. Links are in the description of the YouTube stream. We got to get that up on Twitter, but it is Degen Fantasy, and we are live August 30th, 2024. And it has been such a long fucking off season. And let me tell you right now, I fucking hate baseball.
It's been a long day for Rocky Prop.
Every day is a long day for Rocky Prop. Okay.
One day Rocky Prop. I'm gonna fly to your house in the jet we just won off of a fucking sick parlay with two Brazilian baddies just for you, buddy. And I'm just gonna let them do whatever they want to you, buddy. Just chocolate sauce all over you, daddy.
Chocolate sauce, the stickiness. You know what? Listen, aside from whatever day that is, next September 5th and September 8th, I'm going to be up. Look at me. I'm going to be up so much fucking money right now. It's going to be insane. If you haven't seen it, go check us out on TikTok at Degen Fantasy. I put out picks for the fucking week 1 of the NFL season just to win because Fanatics has no props on there for players right now, which is making me worried because it's my new book, other than the Ravens-Chiefs game for anytime touchdown. There's no other props. There's no passing yards, nothing. So I don't know if you have that access yet or maybe it's just too early for the season. So I'm a little stressed about that, but I pretty much went through all the games that are guaranteed, at least winner choosable. Like, who the fuck knows what's going to happen in the fucking... Like, give me one of the games that's like a toss-up. It's like...
to be honest, I feel like most of them are toss-ups, but you could start, like, the first game. Isn't it the Ravens and Chiefs, I believe, is the first game?
It's the first game. That's more of a toss-up, and it's plus 125 for the Ravens.
See,
and
I feel like that game, like, period, because it's a toss-up and you're getting plus 125, you got to take the dog. Right?
You got to take the dog, and then also I think it's because they just won. Chiefs just won the championship, and the first 3 games of the fucking last couple seasons that the Ravens and the Chiefs has played, the Ravens has lost. Whatever the fucking case may be. A lot of new faces in KC. Kelsey I don't think he looked too hot towards the end of the last season, and he seemed like he had a lot in his head and fucking was getting very frustrated. I don't know how he's going to do. A lot of people are taking him over the portal in drafts this season. Whatever the fucking case may be. I picked a bunch of winners. There's a plus 23,000 odd parlay out there if you guys want to check it out. And yeah, and I just realized we don't have a backdrop up, which is something that... There we go. Professional. And
look at that. Be on the lookout for Bride.
I've seen the lookout, and my brother's here. Okay.
Oh, he's here. Okay.
Oh, he's here. Let me get him in here.
Bring him in.
Talking about professionals. Here's the handsome professional that we're bringing in. He's just, he's getting his tea right now. But before he even gets on, we get into college football. Dan, if this parlay smacks on TikTok, it already has 5,000 views. Shout out to the SoBet creators for reposting it for us. It's moving. Brian!
What's up, boys?
Steps into the show with the Penn State hat.
What's
up, buddy?
Strap it in.
All right, gentlemen.
Baby.
On the fucking podcast.
College football.
That's going to be me the whole episode because I don't know much. We'll be like, college football. Somebody hit somebody. All right, Double Down. Take us down the merry lane of the newest season. I saw highlights this week of I saw Travis Hunter with a fucking insane sideline catch and shit.
Yesterday, Double Down came out hotter than fuck. Shadur Sanders over. Travis Hunter over. Fucking just smacked him yesterday. Threw him in a little parlay ski. hitting the first fucking. I mean, honestly, he went over his total by like 75 yards.
Did he throw it on so bad though?
Hunter went over. I'm on vacation. I'm on vacation. Hey, if you
He's
want to
gone
get tapped
out.
in, you got to send me a text. I'm on vacation, baby.
Fair enough.
Listen, I've been using exclusively Prize Picks because I'm in the fucking desert they call South Carolina, which has nothing legal that's fun. I don't know what the fuck's going on down here, but it's fucking trash. Like, listen, I'm a grown man. If I want to throw in a parlay while I'm at the beach getting my fucking, getting a little tan on my cheeks.
You got some rosiness on you.
Why can't I do that? First things first, South Carolina, bullshit-ass state, has nothing fun whatsoever.
Got the Gamecocks.
Not even, there's nothing going on down here. Fuck the Gamecocks. Fuck the fucking Clemson Tigers. Fuck this whole goddamn state, to be quite honest with you. There's nothing fun down here. What are we doing? Okay, back to the point here.
Okay.
We got a slate. Yesterday we had some games. Bri, I know you checked out the Colorado game. Everyone kind of had to check out the Colorado game. We kind of wanted to see the disaster that we fucking saw. One thing that stood out to me, Shedeur is that fucking dude.
He is.
He is a fucking quarterback. I expect him to be, if not the first, very close second to coming off the board. He looks great.
He looks good. And, the biggest knock on him last year was he got sacked, I don't know, 52 times last year?
Yep.
Something insane. And he got some pressure last night from North Dakota State, and he stood in there and he threw some darts. And all credit to him. He made some really good throws. Now, I'm still not convinced that this offensive line is good enough to make a run in the Big 12.
No.
And
they're going to be what, 4-8? It'll be another 4-8 season.
Yeah, I mean, granted, North Dakota State, and I don't want to take anything away from North Dakota State because they're a damn good football team. But they moved the ball on Colorado pretty easily. And when you start talking about speed and talent, is going to ramp up. That doesn't sound great for Colorado in their upcoming matchup. So, I don't think Colorado. I don't think Colorado is going to be a 6-7 win team. They got to get better on defense and the offense.
I was going to say, is it just the defensive side of the ball and the O-line? Because like when you look at the offensive stats, they just jump off the fucking screen. He had fucking 26 completions and 445 passing yards.
Yeah, no, I mean, the kid is electric, and he's the reason they're going to win 4 fucking games this year. I'm sure Travis Hunter's is a close second. In third, Jimmy Horn Jr., or whatever the fuck his name is, fucking fantastic. The kid is a fucking electric, dude. I mean, the offensive weapons on this team are second to none. But the fact that they spent like $25 million this offseason trying to shore up that offensive line, trying to shore up that defense, to get gashed by a MAC offense, in my opinion, like, that's rough, dude. That's fucking rough. I think North Dakota State is a good team. Defensively, they're not fucking Alabama, dude. But, like, for, like, half the game, that fucking defensive line with all the white people on the planet playing in it, like, getting beat off the fucking snap. Like, we're talking tackles that are making probably, like, $750K to play fucking football in Colorado are getting fucking murdered off the edge. The kid, Shedeur, is the only good thing about that team. I am not sold.
And Travis Hunter. Oh my God.
I gotta be honest with you.
Oh my God.
Listen, I'm watching the game last night, watching with my little brother. I'm on vacation with the fam. Fucking Travis Hunter had great catches. I'm not gonna fucking sit here and tell you otherwise. But when he was effective, he was throwing his defender 5 yards back or 5 yards in front of him to catch the fucking ball. The kid's got zero separation. And in pass coverage, he's even fucking worse. I don't know if this kid is like the prospect everyone thinks he is. I don't think he's that dude. I think Shedeur is like the clear standout from this team and will be like a franchise level quarterback in the NFL. Like his pocket escapability has gotten so much better, and he's not doing that young fuckboy thing where you take the ball and you get pressure and you fucking start running and you just keep going and get fucking hit 3 yards after the line of scrimmage. Like he's doing the thing where he escapes, he resets the feet, and he fucking fires downfield. And god damn it, when he's on the run, the ball is just as good as when he's not on the run. I don't know what Deion did to that kid. Can only imagine his childhood was just fucking snapping footballs. Just get in the lab, keep throwing the fucking ball. That kid is dynamic. The rest of the team, besides Jimmy Horn Jr., who I think is gonna be a fucking like first class wide receiver in the NFL, that whole team is garbage.
How many sacks do you think they had last night? How many times do you think Shedeur was sacked?
I know it was at least 3.
1 or 2, right?
No, I'm pretty sure I saw 3, at least 3. They'll look up the stats. Pull up the fucking stats.
I have them. That's why I'm asking.
3.
It's 1.
That's it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good for them. Okay, still, that fucking defensive line was getting through the fuck. I mean, they were in the
I didn't mean to fuck up your point, but you're like, I mean, well, still.
Dude, they were in the fucking backfield. They were, and this is North Dakota State. We're not talking
about top schools.
Playing the top of the Big 12 right now. They're playing the top of the fucking lower conference.
I mean, the other point is, so you have Deshaunte Webster, who transferred to Colorado. He was at FAU last year, and he had I'm looking at his stats right now. He had 108 catches and almost 1,200 yards receiving. I mean, their receiving group is unbelievable. And then you throw in the transfer from Ohio State, Hayden, who's their running back. They're loaded at skill position. So don't get me wrong. Colorado has the flash where you would expect it to for video game numbers. But when you start looking at the trenches, that's where they lack, and especially the secondary. So if you look at the secondary last night, North Dakota State early in the first half was able to cut up their secondary, and it was surprisingly uneasy being a Colorado, if you're a Colorado fan. So like I said, I don't expect too much from Colorado. They might hit 6 wins. It just really depends on, I mean, I think their next game's Nebraska, right? So,
and that's going to be a good team.
It's going to be
Nebraska
a good
team we'll talk about over this year because they're fucking Matt Rule. God damn it, can he not coach in the NFL? But man, does that dude know how to build a college program. I mean, even Nebraska, like he looks like he's about to fucking do it. Like when nobody else could fucking save Nebraska, he looks like he's poised to do so. And I think they will this fucking year. So we saw Shedeur last night. I think another game that stood out, NC State nearly lost to Western Carolina yesterday with Grayson McCall, the $3.5 million quarterback that they get from Coastal. You pay that kid a lot of fucking money, and I think he's got the intangibles, but man, you're playing Western Carolina, and I know they don't have the offensive weapons, but like, I think you got to put up a better performance against Western Carolina than that. Had a pretty horrible fucking pick in the first half. I mean, like, god awful fucking interception. Overall, I think he played good. He settled into the game. They ended up winning by what, like 10, 14 points, something like that.
It was 38-21.
Yeah, there you go. It's still not fucking what you want to see. A lot of these big programs coming out of the gates kind of weak as fuck. And I'm not liking what I'm seeing. We had a bunch of just mid-major shit schools playing fucking good schools. Arkansas looks like they're going to be kind of a formidable fucking SEC team this year. Missouri, another fucking team. I mean, I know they're playing shit fucking programs, but to throw up 70 in Arkansas and Missouri, I think had like 56 or some shit like that. Those teams are looking fucking much improved. I'm loving that Arkansas offense.
Yeah, I mean, as far as the slate last night, obviously the big one was the Colorado game.
Yeah.
That was on prime time, but did you catch any of the North Carolina Minnesota game?
I did. I watched because I was going to say earlier, because I'm in the fucking goddamn hellhole we call South Carolina. The only thing I can bet on is fucking Prize Picks. So, of course, I'm hitting fucking lineup after lineup because I'm just that goddamn good. But I had that stupid Minnesota quarterback. I had him over 165 yards throwing.
And he finished at 129.
And I was fucking furious.
He had 129.
I was fucking furious. But what I think you saw, I actually, you tell me what you saw. What did you like about the game?
I mean, the biggest thing that sticks out to me is that Mac Brown doesn't have a quarterback, right? So he has basically a running back / wide receiver that's playing quarterback who can't throw the ball down the field. Mm-hmm. And that is very scary once you start getting into ACC ball.
Yeah.
I mean, damn, can he run? Yeah, he can, but you can't rely on just a ground and pound game in the ACC. Mm-hmm. They're just gonna load the box on him, and I don't feel like that's a recipe for success for North Carolina this year.
No, but on the other side of the ball, I think Minnesota showed a lot of fucking grit and a lot of fucking guts to fucking get that win. I thought they were good. I thought Minnesota was really good yesterday. To be quite honest with you, I kind of thought they were going to be horrible, but who's the fucking running back up there? I love that kid. He's fucking great.
Is it Omarion Hampton?
No, that's the UNC kid who's really fucking good too. I like that kid too. Marcus something Marcus. I want to say.
Marcus Major.
There you go, Marcus Major. That fucking kid can run the ball. That quarterback is god awful, but they made the plays when they had to. Mac Brown is just a god awful coach. Like there's no ands or ifs about it. I don't.
Yeah, I mean it basically came down to like a field goal kicking competition at the end. Obviously North Carolina was lucky to come out of that game on top, but you know, I don't love North Carolina this year the way that I guess. Well, I don't know if anyone loves North Carolina, but that's going to be something I'm going to be looking at the rest of the year and kind of gauging whether or not there's some favorable lines against North Carolina that can fade.
We're going to be looking at that fading that quarterback, right? I mean, we're taking his passing yards under probably for the rest of the goddamn season. He cannot throw the ball at all. And that's like an understatement. I don't know how that's possible, but that's a fucking understatement. They're over under start of the year 6.5. I would be very curious to see what that number is now. I'm sure it's gone down because they don't have a quarterback, but maybe a win, maybe it stays at 6.5. I'd be very, very, very interested in taking that under.
They only need 5.5 more.
That's it, just fine. And you know what? I got to look at the schedule, but I don't see many more coming after that. They got real lucky last night against Minnesota. That's for goddamn sure.
Yep.
But I think I sent you a list of games. I'm going to be a homer and pick the Notre Dame game first because, I'm a homer. I'm curious to see what you have to say about this game. So we got Notre Dame. We're going to Texas A&M, playing with the 12th man down there in wherever the fuck Texas A&M is. But notoriously a great defense, not a great offense in Texas A&M against. I don't know how much Notre Dame is spending on this team, but I know that Riley Leonard from Duke got at least $2.5 million just to start this year. So I would venture to say they're spending some fucking money. I think Marcus Freeman's recruiting the fuck out of both sides of the ball, and you gotta fucking love that. We revamped the offense, revamped the wide receiver room. Definitely have some weapons, and I think Leonard can sling the fucking rock. He's also very fucking mobile. The only thing that gives me pause, he's facing Mike Elko, his former coach at Duke. Don't fucking love that matchup. Now you know everything that Riley does bad, you're going to fucking try to exploit. What do you think? I think coaching advantage I would give to Mike Elko because I love him. I think he's a great fucking coach, dude.
So you have Elko versus Freeman.
Yeah.
Both defensive coaches. I would consider Notre Dame's defensive line probably their front seven a top 5 in the nation. They're nasty, right? They're
a lot of size,
experience. They're going to get after a quarterback. the way I look at this game is I look at this very similar to how Notre Dame played Ohio State last year. I think this is going to be a low-scoring, grinded-out game. It's not going to be very exciting. Rocky, you probably will get bored after the first half.
Okay.
Like, why the fuck am I watching college football?
He's bored right now just talking about it. What are you talking about?
I'm looking at stats again.
The total it opened at 48.5. It's down to 45.5. I still like the under. I don't think that either team scores 20 points in this game, so I'm taking the under 45.5. That's my play for this game.
Yeah, I like it off the bat. Automatically, you're telling me that these two defensive monsters want to play football. I'm looking at the under. But here's this. Okay. I could see this game being either razor tight or Notre Dame gets on top of them a little bit, and that offense in Texas A&M is just not – they're not skilled. So – I think we're looking at like a 28-7 maybe. I think Notre Dame's going to surprise a couple people here. They have heavily invested in that team, and I can't tell you how much they have heavily invested. They have spent money on that team. I don't think the Texas A&M is a bad SEC team, but they're probably middle of the pack, right? If you're a playoff team, Notre Dame's got to win this game. If you're a playoff team, you have to win this game.
Yep. So I'm definitely looking at the under at 45.5. I mean, Texas A&M has really recruited well in the defensive line. Elijah Robinson is one of the best defensive line coaches in the nation, and he recruits the shit out of pretty much the entire nation. He's got the resources to do so. So I don't think that Notre Dame's going to have a super easy time scoring. And to the same point, I don't think that Texas A&M is going to have a very easy scoring either. Like I said, I think this becomes the Notre Dame Ohio State game of last year, where it's like 10-7 late, and it's a one possession game, and whoever has the ball last could potentially win. So you just need a couple of really good offensive drives, and you can probably come away with a victory in this game. So that's kind of the way I see it.
Okay.
The initial line opened as Texas A&M as a point favorite. It's now jumped to 3. So Texas A&M is now a 3-point favorite at home, at night, at Kyle Field, in College Station. So I don't love either side enough to put money on either Texas A&M or Notre Dame. I will always, week 1, if I don't like a side, I will look at the total and try to determine whether or not I like the defense more than the offense. And generally, when you start at the beginning of the season, defenses are always ahead of the offense.
Yeah. Okay, I like it. Yeah, I'm going to double down on that under. I love that under. I think that's a good place to go with the best bet for that game. Now, because I was self-serving and a homer, I'm going to pass it on to you with the Penn State West Virginia game. A lot of shit being talked. Obviously, Pat McAfee's been very vocal. I believe
as usual.
Franklin is always very vocal about his fucking team. You guys spent some fucking money this offseason. I think you got better. I think you got better coaching. But this West Virginia team is like kind of the hot team right now. Everyone's kind of fucking, and I think it's because of the coverage they're getting, obviously. But talk to me about this game. What's your favorite side here?
So the line opened at 10.5. It's now down to 7.5. Right.
Holy
so Penn
shit.
State, it's moved 3 points, which is humongous, and a lot of people are on West Virginia this week. The way I look at it is I look at it a couple different ways. So West Virginia ended the season last year extremely hot.
Yep.
They returned, I think, their entire offensive line except for their center, who got drafted fairly high. They returned their quarterback, the majority of their receivers. they were explosive at the end of the season. Now, let me throw a caveat. They were explosive against UCF, BYU, Cincinnati, and Baylor. So they won 4 of their last 5 regular season games against the worst competition in the Big 12. I mean, we can go and say that, man, they ended hot, but their schedule definitely lended to the reason why they ended hot, right? Those are teams that they should beat. The way I look at this game, at 10.5 when it opened, I probably would lean towards West Virginia. At 7.5, I'd probably lean more towards Penn State. I actually like the total under of 50.5 on this game. Look, Penn State led the nation in rushing defense last year. They returned pretty much their entire defensive line. The majority of their linebackers will be there. The secondary is the only question mark. And you look at West Virginia's quarterback, Green, and he completed like 52% of his passes. So the passing percentage isn't high. When you look at the secondary of Penn State, maybe that's a weakness. I think it may turn into a strength by the end of the year. We just don't know. So I like 50.5 under. I think Penn State might come in a little bit slow into the gate with a new offensive coordinator and 3 new offensive linemen. And I feel like Penn State's defense is primed to shut down West Virginia. So I like the under here. I know that sounds repetitive based off of the last game, but I look at a lot of these games on the slate, and I really like the unders.
Yeah, I mean, I think you gotta if you're watching Penn State regularly, you gotta love the under in most of their games. I think what really needs to be said here is Penn State is a tier 2 college football team, in my opinion. West Virginia is like a tier 4 or 5 for me. I think 7.5 is a goddamn gift. I think the defense at Penn State is gonna be nasty as fuck, just purely based off of scheme. I know they're gonna be fucking good. I'm very curious to see how Garrett Green does against a very fucking. They're a good team. They're well coached. Like, they're not gonna come out and lay a fucking egg. I do think it might take them a little while to get it going. I hate the number at 10.5. I love the fucking number at 7.5. You're telling me you can't see Penn State winning by 10 points? Like, I could easily see them winning this game by 10 points. I'll stick away from the total right now because I don't want to fucking double down on everything you're talking about here. But give me that Penn State minus 7.5. Give me that Penn State money line. Maybe I pair it with another fucking money line. I think Penn State is the hit of the week here. Everybody and their sisters are on West Virginia. You know what that fucking means. I'm on the other fucking side. I don't give a fuck what mom's doing, what your sister's doing. Penn State's going to win this game. It's just how much are they going to win it by? I love 7.5. I wish it was fucking 6.5, but I feel like it's still a playable fucking line. All right, Bri likes the under 50.5. I love the minus 7.5. Maybe you throw them together in a parlay.
I like the minus 7.5 too.
Great. Rocky Prop is. I thought you left. I thought you fucking took off for the.
I had to grab a charger. My bad.
No, you're good. But yeah, so I think that's all that can be said there. Just be careful about these teams that everyone's like, oh my God, they're fucking great. Bri just told you who the fuck they beat last season when they were on their hot streak. It wasn't fucking Penn State. Okay, I want to be very clear to you. There was 3 teams in the fucking Big Ten last year. It was Michigan, Ohio State, and Penn State. There were 3 fucking teams last year. And I thought that Penn State competed with both of those teams quite well, in my opinion.
Yeah. And if you're looking at props, and I took a look at the prop market for this game, I love Nicholas Singleton, Penn State's running back. Anytime touchdown at minus 130. So if you can find a price around 130, Penn State brings in a brand new offensive coordinator from Kansas.
Yeah. Who's electric, by the way.
Who's electric. He's very creative, different motions, different formations. He's never had this type of talent at his fingertips. And Singleton can break a touchdown from anywhere on the field. He's going to be, I think he's going to benefit the most from the new offensive coordinator. And that is a prop that I love. Minus 130 on Nicholas Singleton anytime touchdown, if you can find it around that price.
Yeah, I love it. I love when you give me information like that. I'm going to fucking go ahead and smack that real quick and fucking Rocky, take fucking notes.
That's what I'm doing right now.
Brian knows fucking Penn State, all right? So fucking take the anytime touchdown. The kid's going to fucking score, okay?
Gotcha.
Everyone knows he's going to fucking score. Okay, I love that information. Now, just because we're fucking looking at it right now, one of the other games I sent you, Clemson versus Georgia, I believe this line started at 14.5. Am I fucking wrong with that?
The book that I looked at opened at 13.5. It's down to 12.
Okay. Can you tell me why this fucking moved? As I try to plug in my phone, keep going.
Well, so I believe Ra Thomas was still on the team at that point. I believe Trevor's Etienne's suspension possibility was not on the board at 13.5. Georgia's going through some shit right now. So there's some legal stuff that's going on with the Georgia football team that puts some of these players in jeopardy.
Shit. I did not hear about this.
And I think that's kind of the reason why the line has moved. In the event that Etienne is suspended for the game, that's a big time hit for Georgia's rushing game. Now, granted, they're loaded. The entire roster's loaded, but
loaded.
I mean, Etienne he might be one of the most electric running backs in the nation. And if he's suspended for a Clemson game, that kind of changes the entire game plan, right? And that's kind of why when I look at this game and look, I've given you 2 unders with Notre Dame and Penn State. I like the first half under again on this game. So the first half under is 24.5. Georgia's defense, nasty as always. Clemson's defense, I feel like has a half in them to at least slow down Georgia and not score 24 points, right? And especially, let's say Etienne's suspended for the first half of the game. We don't know yet what his status is, but if there is a suspension, I will put my money on the first half bet rather than a full game, just because when we start looking at these teams that just can overpower other teams, the dam generally breaks around the third or fourth quarter, right? And points start to get scored. So I think Clemson has a good half of defense in them to keep Georgia at least contained. And obviously Georgia has the ability to shut down anyone in the nation. So I like 24.5 under for the first half. Yeah,
love that bet. I think he's right. Clemson will be able to stick with them for maybe a half. I'm hopeful that it doesn't get out of hand in the second quarter. The one thing I worry about with Clemson is the talent gap between them and Georgia 5 years ago is vastly different from what it is today. I'm not a fan of Klubnik. He hasn't had a good quarterback since Watson up there. This Georgia defense, I don't care. You could suspend half the team. They still got first-round draft picks, like, waiting to play. They're going to beat the fuck out of Clemson. I genuinely think they're going to beat Clemson by, like, listen, I'm going to wait and get this line when it's like when they suspend Etienne, which it really, I mean, I don't know if they will or won't. I wasn't even aware of it before this fucking moment. But when they fucking suspend him, if they do suspend him, this line goes to what, 11.5, maybe 11?
Yeah, I mean, he's worth something to
He is worth points. He's electric. The fucking kid is amazing, dude. He's a great running back.
And not to say that Georgia doesn't have a stable of running backs behind them, but he's worth points. So that's probably a play that you probably look at tomorrow morning.
Yep.
The game isn't until noon. So take a look at it around 10 o'clock, see what the status of ETN is. But yeah, I mean, jury's still out on whether or not he's playing tomorrow, and that's a big swing whether or not he does and what Georgia's game plan is going into the game. Now, they definitely have the talent to cover 12. They have the talent to cover 14.
Yep.
But you want as many bullets in your gun as possible when you're putting your money down. So make sure that you're informed before you place a bet on this game on either side.
Agreed. Maybe a little sneaky bet there. Clemson plus 6.5 first half. Don't mind that play whatsoever. I think this game does eventually get out of control. They probably win by like 17 points. Georgia is going to win this game. They are fucking good again. They fucking recruited well. Believe they were probably first or second. They spend money. They get transfers. Like they're the best program in the country right now, in my opinion. Oregon is coming though, so we'll see how they do. But I'm sneaky with the fucking -12. If we get to -11.5, that's worth a play in my opinion. Wait for that line, like Bryce said. Wait until the morning. Let's get a little bit more fucking. Georgia's in shambles. Bring that fucking down to 10.5, and I will sell one of my kidneys to put it on Georgia. All right. I think we went over 3 games so far. What was vacation brain. Give me another game that I gave you, Bri.
So the next game I think that we had on tap was the Miami versus Florida game.
So what a fucking game this is, huh? Manny Diaz with the fucking daddy's money down there, spending it like crazy. Florida looks like Florida A&M right now. I don't know what the fuck's going on in Florida, how they're still an SEC team. I will never fucking know. 2.5 seems insane, but tell me if I'm wrong. Go ahead.
So here's the way I look at it. Both of these teams were dog shit at the end of the year. So Miami lost 4 of their last 5 games. Florida lost 5. Well, they lost all 5 of their last games. They did not end on a good note. Let's say that.
No.
So you have Cristobal at Miami. You have Napier at Florida. Do you love either of those coaches? I mean, I'm kind of undecided on it now. Miami is committed to running this air raid offense, which is all well and good, right? Yeah. They bring in Cam Ward from Washington State, who was fantastic there. Whether or not that translates into ACC, who knows? But I will say the one play I did like, I don't like either side. I don't like either total. I do like a prop. I like Cam Ward over passing yards, 258.5 yards. If they're going to commit to this air raid system against Florida, I mean, I looked at what Florida did from a passing perspective at the end of the year, and they gave up, let's see here, 300 yards, 450 yards, 300 yards, 300 yards, 250 yards. And you bring in a 5th-year senior in Cam Ward with essentially the same offense that he was running in Washington State, the air raid. I think he goes over passing yards. It's one of my best plays of the week. I think that 258.5 yards is way too low for Cam Ward. So that's something that I'm definitely looking at, and that's one of my picks of the week.
Yeah, I love that fucking play. That's fucking great. I see 275 at plus 120 there. I'm interested. 261 plus minus 115. I'm very interested in that as well. Might stack those all the way up to 300 there. It's tough to say who has a hotter seat right now. I think Cristobal, who I affectionately called Manny Diaz earlier, I think Cristobal is his seat is on fucking fire right now, and he's in like a kind of a semi flame retardant suit, and he's still getting burned just a little bit. I think Napier is gone after this year, especially if they lose this fucking game. Can you see this kind of being like the opposite though? Like I love an over here. Like I think maybe they're so dog shit that they just fucking like 54.5, probably a really sharp line at this point, but I could see a fucking like a little bit of a fucking, a little bit of a track meet here. Like, not great defenses here, right?
Yeah, I mean, I looked at where this line opened and the total opened. They haven't moved, and they haven't moved for a month. So it's opened at 2.5. It's 2.5. It opened at 45.5. It's 45.5, or I'm sorry, 54.5. So the line hasn't moved at all on this game, which leads me to believe that the public is on both sides equally. So the books aren't moving it.
Yeah.
That's part of the reason why I would stay away from both the line and the spread. I can easily see Florida winning this game. I can also easily see Miami winning this game.
Yep.
What I do know is that Miami's going to throw the ball around, and I think Cam Ward has the ability to get it out to the receivers and pick up some yardage. So that's the only reason why I'm staying away from either side or the total, and looking at more of the prop side.
So prop side though, real quick, what's a wide receiver we can cash in on for Miami? Like, I'm not very well versed in them. Like, I'm sure they have some outside threats. I'm sure they have some fucking talent at that wide receiver position. Is there a skill position player on Miami, on Florida possibly, that you could see maybe throwing a little fucking like little same game parlay? You got Cam Ward over and then this guy over. A little hand.
Yeah, I'm looking at the odds right now. That's a really good question. Let's see here. Florida, Miami, over unders, receiving yards.
Yeah. Rock, scroll back up, go to the quarterback. Is Florida still trotting out? Go to passing props, Rock. Is Florida still trotting out Graham Mertz? Is he still playing down there?
Yep.
Oh,
so it'll be Graham Mertz.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yep, Graham Mertz versus Cam Ward. So
I can't believe Mertz is still playing football, buddy. I cannot believe that.
You would think that Florida would be able to either recruit or buy a better quarterback than Graham Mertz. But surprisingly, his stats weren't terrible. He only threw 2 picks last year. I think he threw 20 to 22 touchdowns. He didn't turn the ball over. So that's a plus on Mertz.
In the SEC, not an easy feat.
Yeah. Is he going to light up the SEC like Jalen Daniels did? No. But he's steady enough. It's not enough to win the SEC. And if you look at Florida's schedule the rest of the year, they have the most brutal schedule. Here, let me just bring this up. Their schedule is Miami, Florida. So then they have Samford, which is a win.
Yeah.
Texas A&M comes to them. That's probably a loss.
Yeah, that's rough.
Then they go to Mississippi State. They should win that game.
Yeah.
UCF.
Not easy. Not easy.
Then they go to Tennessee.
Ugh.
They play Kentucky at home, which I've struggled with the last 3 years.
Yeah.
Then the largest cocktail party in the universe against Georgia. Then they go to Texas, home for LSU,
Jesus Christ,
home for Ole Miss, and then at Florida State. So that's
ending the season with what, 5 losses?
I mean, they lost the last 5 games last year, so I feel like it's on the table again. Whether or not Florida State implodes or not, I mean, Florida State looked terrible in Ireland, whether they turn that around. But yeah, I mean, Florida's schedule is absolutely brutal. So this is almost a must-win game for Florida. At their schedule, I know it's week 1, but they must win this game. The rest of the schedule is fucking unbelievably hard. So
oh shit,
that's why I say I don't rule out the fact that Florida could potentially win this game. Look, we haven't seen either of these two teams play yet, so I'll defer to the prop side rather than picking a side.
Yeah, I like your style there. I might throw in that Cam Ward over passing touchdowns too. I think he's gonna he'll get there here. He's a good good quarterback. I think definitely gonna be drafted. Don't think he's gonna be good in the NFL, but I do think he is a really good college quarterback. And I'm not sold on Florida. I think Napier's probably fired inside the season. I'd be curious to see like how much they owe him and if that's why they're keeping him on staff because maybe that fucking number is just too large for them. Kind of a strange hire. Originally, in my opinion, Napier was never really known for like being a great recruiter. He just was a good coach, which is just doesn't. You can be a great coach, but in the SEC, you got to fucking recruit and you got to out recruit the best recruiters in the fucking country. So like, I know everybody wants to get to the SEC. I'd gladly stay in the ACC. I would gladly stay in any other conference besides the fucking SEC. I think we have one fucking more game on the docket, a game that I'm really interested in. And mostly because I love to hate watch Brian Kelly. And I hope to God they go 0-12 this year. And I always fucking will. We have the LSU fucking asshole Tigers playing the fucking cocksucking Trojans of Southern California. Scroll back up there, Rocky. You passed it. There. There you go. We got a fucking 4-point spread going LSU's way. Fucking total of 64. Jesus Christ, that's a number. Listen, I could easily see USC winning this game. I know that sounds weird, but I could see that happening.
I could too. So the line started at 6. So it opened at 6. It's now down to 4. The total opened at 65.5. It's now 64.
Okay. That's high. Holy shit.
You look at USC's defense, right, over the past 3 years. And granted, Lincoln Riley, he walked into a situation that he probably didn't realize the gravity of how bad this defense was.
Oh, yeah.
Did they improve over the course of the year last year? Slightly. Will they improve this year? Jury's still out, right?
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, USC's defense still is dog shit. LSU's defense, I mean, it's better than most in the SEC, but I wouldn't say it's elite. I don't like either side, and I will definitely not be playing the total at 64. I really like LSU's quarterback, Garrett Nussmeier. Is his total passing is 288.5 right now is what I looked at in my book. I like the over on that. Now, granted, you lose Jaden Daniels, you lose Malik Neighbors. What's the other receiver that
Brian Thomas Jr., I believe.
Yep. So you lose Thomas Jr. So they lose some weapons, but this is still there. It's still the core Brian Kelly offense, right? And when you put Nussmeier, who's got all the arm talent in the world, he looks like a potential NFL quarterback.
He is.
Against a USC defense that struggled so much last year stopping the pass.
Yep.
288.5 just seems so sexy to me. I love the over 288.5 passing yards for Garrett Nussmeier.
Yeah, great pronunciation of that last name. Solid. I thought if he was more mobile than he is, I thought his arm talent was above Jaden Daniels, or Jalen Daniels, or whatever his fucking name is, Jaden, whatever. I think exactly.
He can push the ball further than Daniels can, and Daniels is a top 3 pick. So
yeah, and he's got a good arm too. Daniels he's got a decent arm, but it's not Nussmeier's arm. And I really, really think we're looking at a nice little track meet. It's gonna be a fucking entertaining game. I'm gonna be fucking watching that fucking game. If I can get to a TV, if I'm not out lounging around in my Speedo, I will be watching this fucking game. I like that over 2.5 passing touchdowns. I think that's a great fucking line. Plus 130, fucking great. Fucking run that shit every day of the week. I really like. I don't know Miller Moss. I'm sure if Lincoln Riley recruited him in any sort of circumstance, he could fucking throw the rock around anywhere he wants to. So I like the over going both ways. I think the only way that USC is going to win this game is if they do turn it into a track meet and they just fucking throw the ball every down. I think you're going to get the same thing from Brian Kelly. I think running is going to be kind of not really at a premium here. I love everything about this game. And there's going to be overs galore. And who the fuck doesn't like watching an overs galore game, dude? Give me the over 2.5 on Nussmeier. I think that's a fucking great line. I know it's I know it's big. I know 2.5 seems big, but Bri, we could be seeing him throw 3 touchdowns in the first half.
Very easily. So,
I feel like you could put that together with his yard total, and you could be seeing that in the third quarter, like I was counting my cash with Shador last night, like in the third quarter. Like this is a game that could get out of hand like quite easily. I'm not sure I understand the line movement. I do know that LSU and Brian Kelly, like they can be a little inconsistent at times, but this defense alone should give USC's enough trouble for them to come out ahead. I don't know, man. I don't like the spread only because it's 4. If it was like 6.5 going LSU's way, I would love that. I would love that line for LSU. I know that sounds fucking weird, but now that I know it's been bet down 2.5 points, I'm good on this. I'm just gonna fucking sit back, hope for a track meet. Bry's got the over on the yards. I'm taking the over on the touchdowns. I think that's a good place to fucking start. And then you play all these picks. You got a nice little chunk of change heading into fucking NFL, and we'll be back with those picks. You'll have a nice chunk of change heading into Sunday for Darlington, baby.
Yep. And I mean, let's think of it this way for the LSU USC game. The line is, let's just call it 64 points, right? They're essentially saying that they're predicting that LSU is going to score 5 touchdowns, right? So if the line is 2.5 touchdowns as passing touchdowns, where do you think these 5 touchdowns are going to come from? Right?
They're coming through
from the air.
Exactly. They ain't running fucking touchdowns.
So yeah, I agree with touchdowns. I know 2.5 seems scary. But that's the way I would go. Definitely at plus 130. And then I love the yards. I love the yards over. So just to recap, we have under 50.5 for Penn State. I have under 24.5 Clemson, Georgia, first half. Over Cam Ward passing yards, 258.5. Under for the Notre Dame Texas A&M game at 45.5, and over Garrett Nussmeier's passing yards, 288.5.
And we'll give you those picks on SoBet as well. We'll throw them in the chat. I'll get them up. Brian, do me a favor. Just compile the list, send it to me, and I'll post your card on SoBet. That way everybody can get to those. Listen, it's football season, okay? It's fucking football season. We made it. We got through the fucking bullshit. Brian and I don't have to fucking stay up till fucking 4 o'clock in the morning betting Ugandan Premier League. We can fucking get back to betting what we know best. We're already fucking popping off, hitting some tickets. I'm sure Brian collected a little bit of cash last night, as did I.
As did I.
Did you though? Okay, he might have a little bit. Listen,
Shador Sanders passing.
If Rocky Prop doesn't play all these picks, he's kind of a bitch, and we all got to tell him he's kind of a bitch.
I've been writing them down, and I have the whole stream to go back on in case I misconstrue anything. I'll be teed up.
As does everybody else, and I'm gonna tell you something real quick. When I get this tingle that I got in my sack right now, it means one of two things. One, we're about to fucking cash some tickets. Two, I might have gonorrhea for the 4th time. I think we're going to go with popping tickets right now, man.
It's got to be the tickets.
You know what I mean?
Can't be a 5th time.
I think we're cashing tickets. I don't think it's gonorrhea this time, buddy.
I mean, Shador Sanders last night over passing yards was free.
Yep.
And that paid for the rest of the night. So we'll post them. Danny will post them out, and be careful, right? So this is week 1. We're not gonna blow our load because we don't necessarily know what these teams are gonna do coming out of the gate.
Correct.
But we have a good read on what they did, what their roster construction is, and what we think they're going to perform like in these games tomorrow. So, like I said, guard your wallet, but also scared money doesn't make money. So let's let it fly.
Hell yeah, boys.
Right. Goddamn right. I'm on vacation, restricted from betting. I'm going to figure out a way to get on the books, baby. I'm going to figure out a way. You know it.
I'm trying to navigate Fanatics and try to get it going. I'm going to take you out with a closing segment. It takes 2 seconds, all right?
You cocksucker. I'm
on
vacation, you motherfucker.
Guys, I made stuff I want to show you.
All right. Fucking show us.
All right. It's been a huge fucking trend on TikTok, and I know we did college football today, but I made some fantasy team cover photos for teams. I want to see what y'all think. Y'all tell me which one the best one is, and we'll put them on TikTok. Okay. All right, you ready? This is the first one. This one's Tyreek Hill's King of the Hill. I made that. It's nice. Kind of tough, right? All right, and this one I made. It's Malik Neighbors. It's him and Mr. Rogers says, "Hello, neighbor." And then this one I made is Breece Hall. It's Better Call Hall.
Why do you have?
And this one, I made these, and this one was a suggestion because I saw it trending on TikTok. It's getting hella views, and this one I made because it was just a team name that I use. This Hit Me With Your Prescott. Dan's not even looking at my art. Your kids will be fine in the ocean, all right? Let them swim.
Okay. This is what Rocky does at like 4 a.m. He goes to the bar, gets home at 4 a.m.
Hammered.
Starts working on the Photoshop, right?
I get you guys ready for fantasy football. And then, but listen, you haven't even seen, so I got a league with Dan that's drafting Friday, and my team name is going to be the Double Downs, and it's going to be him and an entire picture of his family.
So basically you own Dan.
They call me Poppy around Dan's parts. I'm Dan's Poppy.
Let's take it easy. Get me off this fucking.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Degen Fantasy. Appreciate y'all. If y'all want to tune in, fucking whatever day we're streaming next. It's gonna be football time. I'm making lots of money without y'all, so come tune in so you can make money with us.
Hey, listen, Rocky Prop's gonna help us set up a stream for Sunday. We got some. Hey, listen, I'm checking in on vacation. We're bringing you the winners, even through the sunburn pain that I'm going through right now. We're still bringing winners, guys.
They got you with the vroom vroom.
Week, baby.
Mm-hmm. Yep, NASCAR.
Darlington, baby. So, right, Rocky Prop, we'll see you on Sunday, baby. Sleep up, get some rest, make some money. We're out.
Clocking in later.
Once again, return.